Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday. It is the 18th day of November 2022. I hope that you are safe and healthy today. I hope that your family is also safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field and the first responders who are out here every day, particularly on weekends, trying to save lives. Blessings upon those that pick up garbage for us to keep streets, sidewalks, parks clean, and those that make deliveries of important things like food and water for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and the children who are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. Also, people who are victims of prostitution and child prostitution, of pornography and child pornography, of human trafficking and sex slavery, and double curses upon the perpetrators, the perverts, and the profiteers who are out here trafficking in this human misery. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and children on the streets of the United States of America right now, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions, and blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. Tonight, in San Francisco, California, there is a scheduled basketball game where the New York Knicks will be playing the Golden State Warriors in San Francisco. The Golden State Warriors, the defending NBA champion Golden State Warriors. This is not going to be easy. Now, the odds are against the Knicks here. Third game on the road in San Francisco against the world champions, the greatest shooter in NBA history on the floor at the top of his game. I mean, when I say the top of his game, he just scored 50. I think he scored 50. They lost their last game, but he just scored 50 against Phoenix. He dropped 50 on Phoenix. That was, in a sense of how they played, more of an anomaly. The game before that, I looking at that game where they beat San Antonio, 132-95. They beat San Antonio. That's more indicative of what the Knicks are going to be looking at tonight. They held San Antonio 95 points, 25% shooting from three, 36% shooting from the field. San Antonio, San Antonio is a young team, but they're a very disciplined team. And they have young players that are like Jeremy Sohan and, of course, Devin Vassell, Kellen K. Johnson that are stepping up. But Golden State destroyed them, beat them handily by 37 points. Now, that's more indicative of what the Knicks are going to be looking at. That just happened the game before last, a couple of days ago. In that game, the Golden State Warriors had 35 assists as a team. Curry had only 16 points. He only took 11 shots. But Jordan Poole had 36. See? Tonight, I don't think they're going to have Jonathan Kuminga tonight, because I don't know. I think he's hurt. And so he won't be available. And Andre Iguodala hasn't been available the whole season. But, they still got Draymond, Andrew Wiggins, Kevon Looney. I mentioned Poole and, of course, Curry. Now, I don't see Klay Thompson in the lineup. They didn't mention him as being hurt. He must have been out for this game. So he didn't even play, and they blew out the San Antonio Spurs. So this is not going to be easy. Generally speaking, you would see Klay Thompson starting and Jordan Poole coming off the bench. Now, how are the Knicks going to defend this team? I told you guys when they played Denver, they might want to use some matchup zone. They did. Yes, if you were paying attention. They didn't stay with it the whole game, but they did use some matchup zone against Denver. And then, of course, they had the man-to-man defense. And they had, the problem with the Knicks is they only got one butter. That's the problem. When I say that's a problem, what I'm meaning is he can guard 1 through 5. Okay? And they had him against Denver, and you're going to see more of that. Whoever's hot they're going to end up putting butter on him. Now, they started off against Denver. He was on Michael Porter Jr., locked him up. Okay. And then later on, they put him on Bones Highland. They had him on Murray. They were putting him on different people. Problem is, you only got one of him. Okay. The best perimeter defender on the Knicks right now, is Cam Reddish. Butter is the best they got. And he's coming around offensively as well. I'm very excited for the Knicks because of this addition. To me, it feels like Christmas time. It feels like we just got something here. And it fell in our lap, kind of. But you got to give the Don credit. Some of y'all don't want to do that, but forget y'all. He went and traded Kevin Knox and a first-round pick that he engineered from Charlotte to get Cam Reddish. You think that was worth it? Man. So, yeah. And now Cam is working with Tom Thibodeau this summer. Ain't no accident. Y'all seem to think that he was always going to be this good. No. He was one step from not being out the league. He's too talented, but he was one step from being, Josh Jackson, on different teams, playing for $5 million, $7 million, whatever. Now we talking, 15, 20 million. Now we talking 80 to 100 million for the kid. That's a whole big difference. And that's because he came and he stayed the summer with Tom Thibodeau. He worked in New York with Tom and the crew, Yoshimoto and them. And then he went to Pennsylvania and worked out there as well. So that's why he's playing like this now. Okay. Some of y'all don't get that. You don't just roll the ball out there and let these guys play. This is the league, man. You got to be ready. Okay. So this Tibbs got this cat playing and it's depending on him. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's him and RJ playing the most minutes right now, as it should be. Okay. And so they got to continue that. Now I'm thinking I would like to put Cam on Curry. Now, Curry is in that stratosphere with KD and Giannis. Okay. You're not going to stop him, especially if he starts lighting it up from three. I mean, obviously, we all know when you get anything from the half court line in is Curry's range, okay, and accurate range. So, I don't know. They might want to put Cam on him and then but then, you got Klay Thompson and he's 6'7". See, you might have to put Cam on him, which means that you got to put Jalen Brunson on Curry. You might say, well, what about, some of y'all might say, well, what about RJ? I'm going to put RJ on Andrew Wiggins. Okay. Andrew Wiggins is dangerous also. These guys are talented. So, and Wiggins is like about 6'7". So and he's long also. So I'm going to put RJ on Wiggins. Now with Curry and Poole and Thompson, you cannot go under on the screen. What do I mean by that? When somebody sets a pick, right, and you're guarding Stephen Curry, all right, and here comes Kevon Looney, and he's setting a pick for Curry, right? You got an option. You can go behind Kevon Looney and try to get around the pick, or you could try to go over the top of Kevon Looney in front of him and try to stay in front. You got to go over the top with these guys. Why do I say that? If you go under, you just gave away 3 points because you give them that, especially Curry, you give him that kind of room for just a split second and it's in the hole. That's it. Okay. So you got to go over and when you go over, the risk, of course, is that they get a half a step on you and they could go by you because that's what they got to pick. But I'd rather that, than give up the 3 points. Okay. So against Curry and against, Poole and against Thompson, you have to go over on the screens. I hate to see when the Knicks play teams and they know a guy's a shooter like KD and you go under. Do not go under. Always go over. And I see it drive Tom Thibodeau crazy. If you watch him on the sideline, he'd be going crazy on that. He don't ever want you to go under on elite shooters. Never. If a guy can't shoot, that's different. Okay, if a guy can't shoot, if you got Kevon Looney from the 3-point line, you gonna let him shoot. You gonna go under. Okay, but not Curry, not Poole, not Thompson. You do not go under. You go over. Okay, and you got to do it every single time. That's a key to tonight. You got to go over. They got to stay in front of this guy. Now, I could say they could run against him or not run against him. Against the Warriors, it doesn't matter. If you run against them, they're going to run against you. If you play half court against them, they're going to play half court against you. It doesn't matter. That's why they're the NBA champions, 4-time champions. They could play any kind of way you want. Okay. So, I think overall we have to not turn the ball over. Okay. Turnovers become important here. So, like against San Antonio, again, they only had 12 turnovers. See, we got to keep our turnovers like that. And Knicks did a really good job against Denver like that, keeping the turnovers low. Okay. Which means Mr. Randall cannot be the point forward today. He's got to be a power forward. You see, when he tries to play point forward, we get a lot of turnovers. He could get taken out of the game in his head and it could be over. If he plays power forward, what you end up seeing is him one-on-one against somebody. And let me tell you something. I've been asking for Julius Randle to be traded for 2 years now. I didn't even want the Knicks to sign him because he's a turnover machine. But I have always said and still maintain, if you have a one-on-one situation in the mid post to low post against Julius Randle, you're done. And that's what happened against Denver Wednesday. He kept getting, you notice he wasn't getting a lot of situations where he had double team and he was trying to go out to double team. No, he was getting situations where it was just him and somebody. And that somebody was always in trouble. Always. Because he is too much of a load. He's too big and strong for anybody smaller than him. He's too strong and too quick for people taller than him. It's one-on-one with him on a mid-post to a low block situation. It's over. So that's what we want. That's what we want. Now, how is that set up? The ball is moving. Okay. And you have Jalen. And then let's say go back to Wednesday's game. Same thing you could have said a Tuesday also against Utah. But Wednesday, the ball was moving. Julius was hitting his shot. I give him that. But they have to watch Cam. They have to watch Jalen Brunson. Now, RJ, he wasn't playing good on Wednesday. Obviously, he wasn't feeling well. In fact, Julius mentioned after the game Wednesday, he was feeling sick. Something's going through the team. There's some sickness going through the team. Okay. Hopefully, they could get fluids or whatever and be ready to play tonight. But there's some sickness going through the team right now because Julius mentioned he wasn't feeling well either. So, but I'm saying you can't just focus on Julius Randle because you got Cam Reddish, because you got Jalen Brunson, because you got RJ Barrett. You got to watch all of them, especially Cam and Brunson. I'm not saying RJ, even though he was shooting like Ray Charles the other night, he shot it right from the line though. But I'm saying in general, there are times when he could get hot, so you got to watch him. And then, of course, he got bully ball down to a science, right? So you got to watch. And because of that, it opens up one-on-one opportunities for Randle. So, in other words, Randle got to be willing to give the ball up so that when he does get it back, he's in a favorable situation. And for him, that's one-on-one in the mid-post, let's say 12 feet in against anybody. One-on-one against anybody, I like those odds with Julius Randle. Okay, so we need that. Now, defensively, oh shoot, if we could get him diving on the floor, that is Julius, if we can get him diving on the floor, hustling behind players, running up the floor behind somebody to catch a missed shot, we're in good shape. We're in good shape there, okay? And the thing is, I'm thinking they may have to go with Brunson on Curry. And the reason I'm saying that, I like length on Curry. But you gotta guard Klay Thompson. Say what you want. He's still coming back from his injuries. Even from last year, he started playing really well in the playoffs. But anytime now, that guy's going to explode. And this is a guy that scored 37 in a quarter. And he can still do that. Okay, so you got to have length on him. I think Cam's going to guard him or Poole, depending on who in the game. So you're going to have to go with Brunson on Curry. Brunson is smart enough to know you got to go over and not under. He knows that. So he's smart enough to know that. I don't know how the refs are going to call the game. There's no way we can control that. Are they going to play ticky-tack? Or are they going to, let them play physical? I don't know. Curry is very difficult to keep out of the lane. Probably one of the most difficult covers in the world to keep out of the lane. Not only is he the best shooter of all time, him and Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, but getting out, keeping them out the lane is almost impossible. He's like a magician with the daggone basketball. Okay, so this is not going to be easy. Oh, this is not going to be easy at all. And they're going to be hungry for a win tonight. They're 6-9 right now. They just lost their last game, and they're going to want to win. Period. This is it. So the Knicks are up against it tonight. If they could beat them in San Francisco tonight, that would mean something. Especially on a road trip. So with everybody getting sick on top of it. So we'll see, but it's very key. Mitch Rob is not playing. He's doubtful, but he probably won't play. So, but we're doing pretty good. Daggone Sims is playing out of his mind right now, and Hartenstein has not been. So I like the idea of starting Hartenstein against Looney, but then playing Sims more minutes. Y'all know Tibbs does that. So I like the 5 matchups for us. I do, and I think especially with Sims, he can guard you at 3, as we saw at the 3-point line, as we saw him do against Murray the other night. And of course, he's learning to protect the rim, and of course, he's getting tough boards as well. So I really like that matchup for us tonight against the Golden State Warriors. I don't know. The RJ Wiggins is a toss-up. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if RJ's recovered from his sickness. I don't know. Nothing. That's a good matchup. That's a good matchup. As far as Draymond Green, the only thing Draymond Green can do really is get in Julius's head. If he doesn't get in Julius's head, Julius is going to dominate him. I think he is. But if he gets in, but Draymond is a master of psychology on the court. All his little dirty tricks and everything is designed to get under the skin of his opponent. He's very good at it. That's one of the reasons he's won multiple Defensive Player of the Years and got rings and all that. So this is going to be interesting. But I'm telling you what, Defensive Player of the Year or not, he tries to guard Julius Randle one-on-one. Julius going to have a nice evening. But we'll see what happens. So this is going to be very interesting. Yeah. And then there's the bench. They're starting to play Wiseman. They got some cat named Lamb that's putting up numbers. I keep seeing him in the box scores putting up numbers. Who is this dude? He's let me see, who is this cat man? Anthony Lamb, from Vermont. My gosh. And he's 6'6", 227. He's in his second season. I've been watching the box scores. The cat's doing pretty good. So you got him. You got Jermichael Green, which we already know. He's an older cat, but he's a roughneck. And then of course Kuminga. Now Kuminga's out today. They got DiVincenzo as well from Milwaukee. They got Moses Moody, who we know is good, out of Arkansas. So, they got a good bench. I mean, no joke. I mean, in this game where they scored 132 points, their bench scored like 50 something points, 50, 60 points out of that, 132. So they got a good bench. They're when I say the Knicks are top 5 bench in the league at the beginning of the season, one of the ones that can match them or beat them is Golden State. So they got a good bench. So yeah, we got especially if Jordan Poole is in the bench, and you got and I think he is. I'm pretty sure that tonight Klay Thompson is playing. I'm looking for the injuries here. Yeah, they just list Kuminga as day-to-day. He's got an illness. There must be a cold going around. And Iguodala, who's out. So Klay Thompson is going to be starting at the shooting guard. Jordan Poole's coming off the bench. You're going to have Andrew Wiggins at the small forward, Draymond Green at the 4, Kevon Looney at the 5, and then of course you got Stephen Curry at the point guard. So this is not going to be easy. I'm a Knicks fan. I want the Knicks to win. The Knicks can win. This is not an impossibility. The Knicks could beat these guys. They can, but it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy. I hope that they're overcoming their sickness. If everybody's sick, it's going to be a step slow, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. I'm not going to be watching the game live tonight, but I'll be watching the replay tomorrow night. And of course, there's the game Sunday against Phoenix at 3:30. And I told y'all after the game, we're going to be meeting at Havana 1959 in Tavares, Florida, at 6:30 on Sunday. They have some good Cuban food there. They got some good. They hook it up. It's a little hole in the wall spot, but y'all know if you're from New York, the best food, man, is these places you hardly know, right? That you just find on the side street somewhere. Yeah, well, that's this Havana 1959. If you like Cuban food, this hole in the wall spot is really good. Black beans, and I don't even eat beans that much, but they black beans is off the chain. And then, of course, the last time I had the stuff, I had stuffed tostones with shredded beef. And then I had a steak, and they had, of course, the plantanos, and man, it was off the chain. I ain't joking. And they got mofongo and all, any kind of flavor you want. So, yeah, it's on like that. But Havana 1959, 6:30 on Sunday, we doing that. Let me know if you coming. Just let me know. I got a crew is coming, but let me know if you coming so we can get a bigger table if we need it. But yeah, that's after the game. And so we'll talk Knicks, see what's up. Please be safe out there. Enjoy yourself. Be safe on the weekend. Shalom. Shabbat shalom.